I remember when they changed that. They put the road around this way.
So what we were just discussing is the fact that this road used to go straight through there. And let me take a better look in a minute. And there used to be a bridge right there on the other side of that bank that stops the road.
The road over there across, see what went straight across?
Yeah.
Downhill.
Yep, there's a gate over there. See it from the other angle in a minute. But this bridge, I was told, washed out when this area flooded real bad. And you can actually, we'll walk up there and you can look at the remnants of the bridge if we can make it through this right here. Now this is a place that's always made me a little bit nervous crossing this, just because if you have a tendency to go sideways, you're going to go down into the creek. But, well,
let's not go sideways.
We're not going to go sideways. Not today. There we go. Other thing I always worry about right there is that it's gonna wash completely out. You know, it's gonna be a big hole in there. Just show up. There's the creek.
You did a good job of driving through that. I would have turned around and gone back.
So I think this is why, or one reason why the road's been fixed, is because they are in here clear cutting this land, which actually gives a really good idea. Now you can see how mountainous or rough the terrain of Rough Edge is. It just hills and keeps going up. But we'll take a look at this old road bed over here, because they have cut it out right to the bridge for us. We came through cutting lots of hardwood trees. You know, this is, aside from those pine trees back there, wouldn't you imagine this is probably what it looked like out here after early settlement and they started cutting down the old trees?
Yeah. Yeah, back then they would cut and burn and cut and burn until they finally had a place cleared off to grow some food. This bottom right here would have been one area that they cleared first. You can see how flat it is?
Yeah.
This is where Colonel Blackman would have cleared this first and made his first crops down in here.
Right.
Then he would have focused on clearing off some of these hillsides and going into terracing.
Hey, you said you remembered when this used to go straight across?
Yeah, this road was changed probably about 1984, 85.
And the flood washed the bridge out is what I heard.
That's right. The road came right up here and there was a bridge here. And now it's gone. Washed away.
Did you see the video that I did at the creek the other day with the rock bases for the old bridge?
I did.
And you see those big posts look almost like the posts that were in the water down there. So that's probably what that was.
I believe so.
Another old wooden bridge. Yep, that's it. Well, I'm glad we drove across that way and not this way today.
That's a good timber right there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't come in here and hooked the chain to that and pulled it out.
Right. See if we actually can make it up there. It was passable the other day when I came up here, but there was a whole lot of rain.
shift it.
I don't remember how on this fancy stuff.
We'll find out.
Longer thing. We made it. Neutral.
You made it.
There we go.
I'm sure that the camera does not do that justice.
Right.
That's something that could only be experienced in person.
Yeah. And the Jeep starts making funny noises. It gets scary.
And there used to be an old home site right up here on the right. Have you been out there?
I'm not.
There used to be a home site up there. I don't know whose home site it was because it's been gone for a long time. But I found a broad axe up there one time, long ago. There used to be big chimneys up there and a well, of course.
Deer.
Oh, deer.
Three white-tailed deer all the way up there. Maybe, I don't know. Might be able to see. GoPro shoots so far away. But yeah, this is, and this again, looking up here. I'll step out for a second. This would have been longleaf forest originally, and then settlers came and basically did this and turned it into fields, and then it's been timber since settlers moved away. It's kind of interesting. You'd really see the lay of the land though,
And far through that tree line up there, you can see the hill where we were, where the Blackman Cemetery and home place is.
yeah.
Straight through there. So he lived on that hill, and
Yeah.
there was another settler that lived on this hill. This doesn't even look like the same place. There used to be big oak trees and cedar trees up here. And there was the foundation of a big old house right here.
Oh wow, right here.
There's a piece of china there. Yeah. Wow, it's all completely eradicated. I can't tell if that's Indian pottery or something else.
It's definitely a piece of pottery.
Piece of homemade brick.
Oh, yep, piece of a homemade brick right there. And there's another one right there. So wow, that's incredible that that's.
Yeah, there used to be a big open well up here. I was metal detecting here once and found a big broad axe, the kind that was used to hew logs
Yeah.
in the early days.
So they come in here with machines and do this now and, you know, do it pretty quickly. But back then it was all manual labor to clear land like this.
It's amazing that they have scraped away all evidence of the chimneys and everything.
Yeah.
Well, the upright part. And there's still pieces of brick here.
Yep.
And even centuries from now, there will still be some evidence of someone having had a home here. But
that's it. Isn't it glazed?
That's another glazed brick. The recognizable evidence of the house is gone as
Yeah.
far as what had been here. One thing's for sure, they had plenty of clay up here to make brick out of.
Sure enough.
Somewhere around here there would have been a big brick kiln for firing and making those brick. Those brick are fired. They're not sun-baked brick because they're glazed.
Right.
Yep. What is that?
There you go.
Is it an arrowhead? I believe it is.
I believe it is too.
It's a quartz arrowhead.
Yeah, it is.
And also, you know as well as I that the early settlers didn't have to clear some places. If there was already a Native American settlement on the spot, they took advantage of that. They would establish their homes where there was already a clearing.
Right. There's obviously evidence that they were here. Native Americans were here in this spot. I think we did find a piece of pottery, and then that's really cool right there. I'll set it back here. Here's a little bitty sign left over from the home site that used to be here. It's that little piece of early pottery.
It's a melted glass.
Look at this little piece of pretty early green.
Yep.
China.
That's maybe either South Carolina or Crawford County pottery. Top off of an arrowhead.
Yep, another broken arrowhead piece. A little bit more evidence of the home site here. Rocks and bricks from the chimney.
One whole brick.
We found where they had some flowers growing here. Said these are flag lilies.
Well, some call them iris, and some call the old-fashioned white ones were called flag lilies. But it's an iris.
And there's more down there, so we found where they had a pretty flower bed right here. More stones probably from the chimneys. A real big flat one.
You can see how this is flattened out right here.
Yeah.
And then a terrace.
Right.
And it was flattened out again. They tried to make use of the land right here around the house to grow something, crops, whatever. Because beyond that terrace, there's a ravine over there. It just drops off to nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not a creek either. That's just a deep gully.
And I see more. I think those are daffodils.
Yeah.
Like 2 clusters of daffodils, 3, 4 clusters of daffodils. Actually more than that. There's a bunch of them in there.
This is the hills.
This is the hills.
is out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
I think maybe that might have been it. Or maybe not. Wow. We are on the mountain now.
Definitely on the mountain now.
You want to take a shot of that over there?
Yeah.
There's a cedar tree.
Yeah.
There's another gate.
Yep.
Okay, so
Deer stand. Wow.
you can see a long way from up here.
You sure can. Get out of here
Well,
before we get shot and murdered.
if I had to guess that there was a church cemetery anywhere on the mountain, it would be up in there, but
Yeah.
I don't see any evidence of it. And unlike you, I don't want to get locked in here
Right.
because it's a long way home from here.
Sure enough, yeah. Yep, that is a lot of keep out signs.
Yeah.
No parking, keep out. I appreciate the fact that the keep out sign has a bunch of bullet holes in it. Just extra incentive to keep out. So what we're doing on this last leg of our rough edge adventure is looking for the old Terry Church on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's maybe one that we're not able to find today.
Maybe not today, but when I was growing up, there was a abandoned church up here. It was a large, old African-American church, and nearly all the members were members of the Terry family. And there was a big cemetery at the church. And even though the church was abandoned, I can remember being up here, and there would be cars that would pass by us going up toward that cemetery. You know, it still had visitors that went up there.
Yeah.
As late as 20 or 30 years ago. A lot can change in 20 or 30 years, though. Big old barn. She had cows out there all around it. Cow lot. Ms. Hawkins' house used to be right out there. The last time I was here, the chimney was still there.
Yeah, you can see the chimney
Yeah.
behind those.
I believe, seems like after the house was abandoned, it burned down, and now there's a deer camp there.
Yeah. See the privet hedge and all the
Yeah.
Homesite plants right there.
Ms. Hawkins lived here until she was up in her 90s, and she had the prettiest flowers. all out there in that yard.
And she knew a lot about this area.
She knew everything there was to know about this area because she had lived here nearly all her life. And her husband and his family had lived here before her. Her husband was a game warden, and his name was Mr. Barney Hawkins. And her name was Annie Dean Hawkins.